Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadashivasamarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Narayanam Padmabhavam Vasishtam Shaktim Jadatputra Parasharam Cha Vyasam Shukam Gauda Padam Mahantam Govinda Yogindra Matasya Sishyam Sri Shankaracharya Matasya Padma Padam Cha Hastamalakam Cha Shishyam Tam Todakam Vartika Karamanyan Asmadgurun Santatamanatosmi Shruti Smriti Purananamayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhasha Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Om Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Tulyam Nijantargatam Pashyannatmani Mayaya Bhagiribodbhutam Yata Nidraya Yasakshat Kurute Prabodha Samaye Swatmanamevadvayam Tasmai Sri Guru Murtaye Namayidam Sri Dakshinamurtaye Bijasyantarivanguro Jagadidam Pragnirvikalpam Punaha Maya Kalpita Desha Kala Kalana Vai Chitri Chitri Kritam Maya Viva Vijrumbayatyabimaha Yogi Vayasvechaya Tasmai Sri Guru Murtaye Namayidam Sri Dakshinamurtaye. According to Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta, the world that we see, in the first verse it is said, Antar Asti Yadyapi Mayaya Bahihi Iva Drishyate. Even though the world is really inside, Bahirivo Udbhutam Yata Nidraya. Nidraya Swapnavastaya. In that it is established the Astitvam and Spuranatvam, existence and awareness of the world, are extended by the one Ishvaraha who is within. And the example was given as just like a reflection in the mirror. It's not happening there. The reality is here, and only an appearance is outside. So too in the sleep or in the state of dream, even though we think that we are having an experience of the world outside, Really speaking, it is happening in one's own mind. Given the anubhava of the world, experience of the world through the senses, it appears that the world is real. Because we have taken the pramana called the eyes, ears, nose, etc. as nijam, real. So there is a question about what is the pramana. According to the pramana, so will be the darshana. As per the media of knowledge, so will be the philosophy. What pramana, what means of knowledge you consider as valid, so will be your understanding about the world. So we have seen Vaisheshikas who talk about Paramanu, the atom particles, as the cause of this world, while Sankyans hold the Pradhana Maya as the cause of the world. For they consider both of them consider the world is real. Whereas Vedanta of the standpoint is, it is vivarta. It is an appearance, and they also go by certain pramanas. So pramana jnanam avashyakam. Knowledge about the media of knowledge or means of knowledge is very important. And therefore here the discussion about pramana. In verse number 17, we have seen up to that. Before that, there are two aspects of jnanam. That is what I think we need to discuss about. Correct? About two parts of knowledge. Yeah, before that, pramana, jnana vibhaga, jnana vibhaga. In 15, we read that 15th verse here. Verse number 15. Yes. Jnanam dvida vastu matra Dyotakam Nirvikalpakam Savikalpam tu sanyati Dyotakatvadanekadha. Jnanam dvida. Jnanam is of two kinds. What are the two kinds? Two types, basically. Vastu matra dyotakam nirvikalpakam. Vastu means that which exists. Vastu matra dyotakam. Dyotakam, awareness. So, the awareness of an object's existence, that is what is called Nirvikalpakam. Nirvikalpa jnanam. Nirvikalpa jnanam. Vikalpana rahita jnanam. Nir means vina. So, Nirvikalpaka jnanam, meaning knowledge without any vikalpana, modifications. Astitva, existence of an object, is the first comprehension. When I see any object, that I am asti, I am vastu asti, this object is. Then we go into other aspects of the what it is. That is actually Vishesha Amsha. Samanya Amsha and Vishesha Amsha. In the Panchadashi, chapter 6, which we were discussing on Sundays, a person who is walking on a seashore, he happens to see a very glittering object on the sand. And he says to himself, this is a silver. I am Rupyam Asti. I am Rupyam Asti. Rajatam Asti. Rajatam means silver. Whereas actually what is there is a shell. A shell only. It's called Shukti. Shuktireva Asti Parantu Ayam Purushaha Ayam Rupyam Iti Katyate. This is silver, he says. So this is shell and this is silver. Two statements. This is shell is the actual truth. But this is silver is the perception of the person who had mistaken the shell to be a silver. In this, idam asti. In this idam asti, this is called samanyamsha. Samanyamsha means the aspects which are both same in the statement of this is a shell or this is a silver. In both the cases, this is the same. What is Vishesha, which the silver is silverness. So the silver being later on come to be known as not true, but at the present moment, a person who has not understood that would think that this is silver, and therefore the silver has borrowed the easiness and thisness of the shell. The Samanya Amsha of the Shukti has been taken over or borrowed by the silver. Whereas the Samanya Amsha of Shukti as being a shell is Avrutam, covered, concealed. In that concealed nature of the Shukti, the Vikshepa of Rupyam has taken place. Vikshepa means superimposition. The silverness has been superimposed on the Vishesha Amsha called the shell. In other words, this is idam Rupyam, idam Shukti asti, idam asti, that has not undergone any change. The Samanya Amsha of the shell did not get concealed. Avarana did not take place in that. Avarana took place only on the Vishesha Amsha. And the Vikshepa is taken place on the Vishesha Amsha of a thing. Why I'm saying that is, that's another discussion that goes on here in the Panchadashi. But here I'm bringing that point because Nirvikalpa Jnanam na avrutam bhavati. Nirvikalpa Jnanam is not going to be concealed at all. In the Ajnana Samaye api, in the case of an ignorant person also, Nirvikalpa nature does not get concealed. Whereas the superimposed idea of a thing gets changed. What is the superimposed idea here? All other attributes. So that is why it is said here, Savikalpam tu Sajnadi Dyotakatvat Anekada. Anekada means different manifestations, manifold, varieties. What? The other aspects, name, form, quality, function, usage, utility, everything. So to go back to our example of the shell and the silverness and its brightness, its beauty, all these are all vikshepitam. All of them are adhyasitam, superimposed. And when it comes to superimposition, there's no limit. You can superimpose anything you want. A variety of things you can superimpose. Why not? Whereas what is there cannot be concealed. That is always there. That cannot undergo any change. So this is Ayam Asti is Nirvikalpakam. Ayam Shukti Asti or Ayam Srupyam Asti. That Rupyam is being superimposed. And therefore, what was concealed, on that concealed aspect, there is Vikshepa. On the one which is having undergone the Avarana, on that is the Vikshepa. So, we see Aham Asmi is सामान्य अंश of all of us. कोई भी नहीं है यहाँ पे वो कुछ कहने वाले हैं कि अहम न अस्मि. कोई नहीं कहता है. कोई कहता है Are you there? No. Can anybody say I'm not? Can anybody say that? I don't exist. You see, you may say out of anger, as far as you are concerned, I don't exist. But nobody has any experience of aham na asmi. That's why we saw in Advaita Mahagrantha also, aham asmi sada bhami kata chinna hamapriya brahmeva hamadas siddham satchidananda lakshanam. They're not. Aham asmi. So aham, I-ness, self. Say, as this case of the idam shukti asti. Idam is referring to something outside. Same thing with here, with us, with me, with each one of us, aham. Idam is replaced by aham. Idam shukti asti, aham asmi. Aham jiva rupena asmi. Aham jiva asmi. So aham asmi, there is no difference. That jivatvam is a vikshepa. Jivatvam is the superimposition. And then the jivatva, when it understood to be false, when brahmatvam is understood, what is the statement you would make? Aham brahma asmi. See, asmi and aham has not undergone any change. Aham asmi. Kim rupena kidrushena asti asitvam. What form you are in? So that's why when we meet each other, I don't ask you, are you there? No, how are you? Okay. How are you means in what condition you are. Brahma rupenasmi. A Brahmaviti will say Brahma rupenasmi. A Jiva will say Jiva rupenasmi. Ajñoham. So ahamasmi is a common factor. Aham kidrishamasmi, and that is the question of discussion. Aham jiva rupenasmi. Jivaha aham. Martyaha aham. Subject to birth, subject to death. That is replaced by Brahma Rupena Asmi. Aham Brahma Asmi. So, Nirvikalpakam Kadachit Vikalpayena Samsparshyate. Even a touch of this Vikalpa will not touch it. Will not be influenced by even a touch of Vikalpa. So, Nirvikalpa Jnanam Samanyam. Savikalpa Jnanam Vishesham. So, the Vishesha is of many kinds. That's why it is said, Savikalpam tu Sanyadi. Sanya means name. Sanyadi, name, etc. Dyotakatvat anekata. Because it is appearing to be of various modifications. Like, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa would say, 5 people went to a restaurant and the attendant there asked, what do you want? So one person said, bring me some water. The second person said, pani leke aao. Third person said, I want vellam. Somebody else said, I want tanni. Then another person said, jalam anayatu. Now, even though they are all in languages differently they spoke, but the content is the same. You will bring the same thing only and put it in 4 or 5 glass and pour the same thing only to all of them. Right? One will have in a mud cup, a mud tumbler, or another person will have in silver tumbler, another person will have in a glass, another will have a porcelain cup, another will have a chinaware. But what is it? Same. So, Nama Rupa Jagat, that is subject to so many different changes. So, in this example, this is a pot, this is a necklace, this is, but name and form it takes are all of different kinds. All right, understood that. What kind of a Savikalpa is that? That is said in the next verse. Sankalpa Samshaya Brantihi Smriti Sadrishya Nischaya Uho Nadyavasayascha Tatanyenubhava api. I am, this awareness is constantly being overpowered or influenced by Savikalpa Vrittayaha. Varieties of different thoughts. What are they? Sankalpa. Sankalpa is some kind of a intention, an intent. Samshaya, doubt. Bhranti, incomprehension, a non-comprehension, or misunderstanding. Smriti, memory. And sadrishya. Sadrishya means of the same nature, similarity. Nischaya, determination. Uha, guess. Anadyavasaya, inability to determine. Anye anubhava api, and all other possible other such vrittis, thoughts. So awareness remaining as aham asmi, but when it comes in the form of thoughts, there are so many hundreds and different of them. So therefore, here the idea is given as in from the Taittiriya Upanishad, it is said the creation began with a thought only. So it is said that one Brahman, with the help of Maya or with the power of Maya, he comes to have this thought, Bahusyam praja yeti satapotapyata satapastaptva idakam sarvam asrjata ididam kincha. And where it says that he thought, and by thought he created. So that thought which created, so it is said, Samanyakarena Surja Samasta Vastu Ulleki Ityartha Punaha Akashadi Bhuta Bautika Prakarena Anekata Srijyartha Vishesha Dyotakatvat Tadeva Savikalpatvam Kalpakatvam Sanyati Iti Yojana. Bahusyam Prajayeti. May I become many. The one has thought to become many by thought. Yasya jnanamayam tapaha. Upanishad says jnanamayam tapaha. Tapaha is not an action, tapaha is a thinking. Yasya jnanamayam tapaha. By ज्ञान से ही उसका ये विश्व का उत्पत्ति हो गया. So, jnanasya swarupatah beda abhave api. Even though knowledge does not have any division, jnaya akara avabhasa nibandhanah bedah. Because the way we understand a thing, objectively when we know it, a thing, it undergoes changes. Bedah bhavati iti abhipretya dyodakatya anekata ityuktam. Because what is being perceived are variety. That loga anubhava eva. It is also our own anubhava. Idam idanim karishye iti evam akaraha manovrittihi sankalpaha. What is sankalpa? Let me do this, the intent. That is what is called sankalpa. Anirdarita aneka kotikam jnanam samshayah. When we are unclear about a thing, then that leads to doubt. Idam anena sadrisham iti evam akara vrittihi sadrishyam. This is similar to that. In this way, a vritti is called sadrishyam. Uhaha drishtra sadharmyena vedaha. Vaidharmyena va anyasya iti utpeksha. Uha is, I guess, I think, I assume, I presume it is like that. Something else which is not seen or of a different nature. Anadyava asaya iti drishyamane api vastuni anischayah. So that is not sure even as one is able to look at it, but how to think about it when it is not clear, then it is called anadyavasaya. It is like a child who has learned or is studying some subject matter and goes to the exam and one particular question comes which he or she has never thought about it, and then even though that child is reading the news, the question paper, not able to understand what could be the intent or what could be the answer for this question. I'm not able to think, even though I studied the subject. Inability to think in that direction clearly. It's not a doubt. It is inability to think. That is called adyavasaya. So in this way, varieties of vrittis are possible, and this is called Savikalpa Jnanam. Why he is introducing this is because all our philosophies are based upon the means of knowledge. And the means of knowledge, based upon that alone, the perception of the world, and so also the philosophy built on it. So now, vikalpaha pramanajanitaha. Vikalpaha pramanajanitaha. All our thoughts are based upon what we have taken into account as the means of knowledge. For example, maybe 200 years back or so, when the telescopes were not there, or much before that also, nobody had thought there can be something else other than the earth would exist, because there is no means to know it. Slowly, when the human beings started to explore the depth of the universe, then based upon the equipments that he had started to discover, then he started to wonder about the distant stars, not only stars, the planets, and then the galaxies, and then the cosmos. So as per the means of knowledge, so will the expansion of awareness. And the philosophy also changes accordingly. The earlier philosophy probably being we are the only one here, and we are the only living being here, and this is alone, earth alone is real, there's nothing else is there. And all that has undergone varieties of changes. So too, all our vikalpanas or vikalpaha pramana janitaha. Therefore, pramana sankhya vikalpaha. Sankhya vikalpaha. What are the varieties of pramana that are there? According to the Vedic tradition, these are all the pramanas, means of knowledge. Now we have seen Vaisheshikas, Nayayikas, Sankyans, and then Vedantins. There are many others also. But today, what is most prominently what we see are the people who are Charvakas. Charvaka means their vachanam is charu, sweet-tongued people. Meaning, what they say look to be very, very appealing. Kavo pivo mojda, bas. Kuch aur karne ki zarurat nahi. Eat, drink, make merry, there is nothing else you need to do. So somebody sent me a video. I really told that person to stop that spread of that video. So what is the point in Kapalbhati and all this thing? Only one life you have got. And just to eat whatever you want to eat, nothing you need to do. You need to have a mental control, that's all. Otherwise, you just can eat anything you want. No, don't follow any diet. So this kind of propagation is also there in this world. So Charvakas take only Pratyaksha Pramana. What is unseen by the senses are not there. Whatever is not seen, it doesn't exist. Therefore, God is not there, because we don't see it. That's all simple. So here you see, Pratyakshamekam Charvakaha Kanada Sugato Punaha Anumanam cha tachapi Sankhya Shabdam cha ite api. Pratyaksham ekam charvakah. Charvakas are those who are considered to be those who are interested only in the matter. Materialist perception. These Charvakas, for them only Pratyaksha. Pratyaksha means direct perception. That is the only pramana. Pratyaksham pramanam charvaka. Whereas the Vaisheshikas, who are also known as Kanadas, because Kanada Rishi is the one who started this philosophy of Vaisheshika. Also, Sukadaha. Sukadaha means Buddhas, Buddha mother, Vadinaha. They accept Anumana also, Pratyaksha and Anumana. Inferential. For Charvakas don't understand mind to be an independent entity, or mind can be an entity without the input from the senses. Mind is a composite of information gathered through the senses. Other than that, there cannot be the mind as an independent entity. It is also a physical organ, as much as the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, etc. are. So therefore, for them, Anumana is also not a means of knowledge. Whereas the Kanadas, Vaisheshikas, and Buddhas, they include inference as a possible another pramana. So let us see what is the difference between these two. Charvakas have the philosophy built on the direct perception. Why do they only believe in direct perception? Because matter alone is real. Other than matter, nothing else exists. The body is made up of matter. And even the mind, which is the brain, according to them, is also made up of matter, chemicals, let us say. So such philosophy is very strong rooted in this world also, in this today's world. Why? Because let us say that if I'm angry for whatever reason, the anger is a chemical reaction. Yesterday or last 2 days back, one young man came to me and he was talking to me about his mental instability. So I said to him, what are the treatments that you are taking now? I'm going through therapy. What therapy is that you are given? They only gave some exercises to the mind and also a lot of medicine. I said, are you better, feeling better now? Yeah, when I take the medicine, I feel better. And what is that they explain to you about your condition? I asked him. He said, chemical reaction creates thoughts. So I asked him, let us say if there is a person in front of you whom you don't like. Yes. So what is the chemical reaction that you think that you are having? Anger. Right? Anger. So anger is caused by you are seeing a person whom you don't like, correct? Or if I give you a pizza in front of you, that pizza is creating a saliva in your mouth, wanting to eat it. So that chemical reaction takes place, correct? He said, yes, that's what happens. Let us say that I am talking to you about, or you are thinking about a person whom you don't like. Does the chemical reaction take place? Or if you are thinking about pizza, will the saliva in your mouth will take place or not? He said it does. So tell me, is it the eyes that are seeing the person whom you don't like, or seeing a pizza that is in front of you is causing the chemical reaction, or a thought creates a chemical reaction? Is it a perception of a thing or a thought? So chemical reaction is a product of something. It is not the other way around. It is not the chemical reaction that creates anger. The anger creates a chemical reaction. Your thought is creating the chemical reaction. It is not the other way around. So the treatment that is given to you is based upon the a presumption chemical reaction is creating anger. So control the chemical reaction. So even though it solves a problem temporarily, but it is not a permanent solution in the sense that the chemical reaction, even though controls the anger, meaning reaction, but it doesn't stop you from getting angry. Right? Tomorrow you will get angry again. Again you go for medicine. So if you understand thought is creating the chemical reaction, then you will go to why that thought and we will work there. So Charvaka philosophy does not accept the inferential method. It is because of this I'm happy. This is happening. Whereas Buddhas and Vaisheshikas accept inference as a means of knowledge. What I do not see, I can assume it to be there. I can infer it to be there. Why? Obviously, it is based upon pratyaksha, no doubt. But present moment, pratyaksha is not there. I'm not seeing the smoke. I'm not seeing the fire, but I can definitely assume there is fire there because I see the smoke. Even though at the present moment, I do not see fire in front of me. So this inferential knowledge is also a pramana. For when you wake up in the morning and you say, I slept well, did you know that you slept well because you were there while sleeping, you are watching yourself? I did not. But upon waking up, I say, I slept well. How do you know? Inference. There is no disturbance for a long time. I was not reacting. I was not having hunger. I was not doing anything. And I could see the watch. I have not done anything for the past 6 hours. Between the time I went to sleep and the time I got up, then 6 hours have gone. And at that time, I did not achieve anything. I didn't do anything. I was not talking to anybody. I was not eating. I was not walking. I was not doing anything else. So what I could have been doing? Nothing. Sleeping. Though I cannot say I did not exist. So, therefore, inferential knowledge is accepted in Vaisheshika and Buddhas. So, Anumanam cha tachabi. So, first one is the Pratyaksha Pramana. And the second one is Anumana Pramana. So, Sankyans, as here the notes say, Pratyaksha is the means of obtaining knowledge by direct perception through the senses like eyes, etc. Anumana is inferential knowledge gained by perceiving some signs invariably associated with the object, as for instance, in guessing the existence of fire by seeing the smoke. The third one is Shabdam Cha. Sankyans also accept Sankyans accept the Pratyaksha and Anumana. But Shabda Pramana is Shruti Pramana. This is the third Pramana. Authoritative texts. Texts written by or texts which were passed on by tradition, originally said to have been written or compiled by people who have gained the correct knowledge, and their words become a Pramana. That's why it's a Shabda Pramana. So it's called Shabdam also. Shabda Pramana is called Shabdam. Because it is not necessarily my own experience, but my understanding taking place due to someone else's experience, which are taken by me as with faith as true. Now one may say that nowadays we do not have Shabda Pramana, but even science accepts the Shabda Pramana. But in everyday life you also accept. Because when it is said COVID, आपको देखा है, आपने देखा है क्या? नहीं, मैंने नहीं देखा. अनुमान प्रमाण पहले भी नहीं था. I do not know what अनुमान I can do. So, but when the CDC says it is spread out and it will affect you and be careful, you may be a carrier, you may not be affected, but you may be a carrier, or when somebody else is a carrier and you come in contact with that person, you will not see that person carrying anything, but you will pass it on to you, even though you don't see it. Shabda Praman. Is it not? When the science says that it is all spread out and you have to take a medicine or you have to take an injection to overcome that or to protect yourself, you do not know. But you believe in the authority and the statements of the Central Disease or Drugs Administration, whatever, CDR, CDC, whatever. So you take their authority as correct. So too, Vedas are considered as the authority for the knowledge of something which is ajnatam, unknown. Yadi swargam va or moksham va, whether it is about swarga or moksha. So pratyaksha, anumana, shabda, these are the pramanas so far. So now next one is Nayayikas, logicians. न्यायैकदेशिनोऽप्येवम् उपमानं च केचन अर्थापत्यासहेतानि चत्वार्याः प्रभाकरः. So, Nayayikas, Nyayadarshins, Nyaya Eka Deshinaha. So, those who are accepting the Nyayayikas means the logicians. So, logic is another philosophy. Nyaya Darshana, which is also an important philosophy of school of philosophy. These are all originated in India, Bharat. They are the people of such elaborate, elaborately they have worked on the philosophies. So Nyaya Darshan, logicians accept all the three: Pratyaksha, direct perception; Anumana, inferential knowledge; and Shabda Pramana. But furthermore, what we see here is there is one more pramana known as Upamana Pramana. Upamana Pramana. So, Nyaya Ekadeshinaha api evam Upamanam cha kechana. Some people take up kechana, some people take up Upamana Pramana. Upamana means Ma is to measure. Ma miyate. To measure means what? Let us say that I want to find out what is the length and breadth of this table. What is the width and what is the height, what is the depth, etc. So what I do, I take a what do you call that? Measuring tape and check up how many inches this, how many inches width, how many inches length, what is the height, what is the weight. So there are means to know. So that is called ma. Ma is to measure. But when you want to explain to someone about a thing which I say, I know about a thing which you have not seen, I have to explain that object to you. In your mind, I want you to think about that particular thing exactly as much as I am thinking about. But I do not know how to convey that to you. Therefore, I take an example of something to bring your mind closer to what I want you to think about. When you go to Chardham Yatra in the Himalayas, the people who cannot walk up or climb up, do trekking, they get onto a animal called pony. The pony, in Tamil, pony means you go. It never stops for anybody. It just goes. If you don't sit on it, it won't care. It just goes. It's pony. I've seen that happening. That's why I'm telling you. Whether you sit or not, it doesn't care. It just keeps going. Even if you fall down, it doesn't understand. It'll keep going. Unless somebody notices that you're fallen, it never stops. It is a dumb animal. It will look like horse and behave like donkey. It is not very tall like a horse. It's looking like horse. But it doesn't have that laziness of the donkey. It's quite active. So if I want to tell you what it is, if you have never seen, I'll tell you, it will look like horse but behave like a donkey. So now I have brought two animals which you know closer to your mind. So think about it. The form is like a horse but behave like a donkey. Because donkey means it is not horse like, always vigorous and very active and then it's running, not like that. Nor it is completely like a donkey where it just stands in one place, absolutely no, for a long period of time, it just never cares staying in one place. No, it will walk. It will carry people. It will carry things. So to bring this very close to your mind, it is called coming closer. It's called upa. So upamana, meaning bringing an idea closer to your mind with the help of something else you already know. It's called upamana. It's a pramana. So knowledge happens by comparison. So first one is pratyaksha is knowledge happens through seeing, direct perception. Second is anumana is anumiyate, the anumana. Anu means following. Anumiyate, the anumana. Following something which you already have seen them together, like fire and smoke, you've seen them together. One you are seeing, other one you are not seeing. Therefore, you can infer. That is called inferential knowledge. Shabda pramana is authoritative knowledge by scriptures, words of the men of wisdom. Then comes the upamana pramana, where the knowledge takes place by comparison. So upamanam cha kechana. Then comes artha apatti. Artha apatya sahya etani. Artha apatti. This artha apatti is where it's called assumption. Assumption. Or called implied. Implied knowledge. What is that? Implied knowledge is logic oriented, and I will show the difference between inferential and this. A person seemed to be very fat, but nobody has seen him eating. Okay. Nobody sees him eating anytime during the day. But it is not possible for that person to remain fat unless he eats. Therefore, even though you do not see him eating, you are bringing the impossibility of a person remaining fat without eating. Therefore, it is implied that the person must be eating when nobody is watching him. Maybe in the night, when you go near to his room, sound. So that means he must be eating. So there cannot be a possibility of a person remaining fat without eating food. Therefore, even though I do not see the person eating food, I can safely, logically conclude. It's called logical conclusion. That person must be eating in the night when nobody is watching. So it's a rational conclusion, implied knowledge. That's called artha apatti. This is a Prabhakara school of philosophy had accepted arthapatti as a means of knowledge, along with all other four. That's why he says arthapatya saha etani chatvari aha Prabhakara. Etani chatvari. What are chatvari? Pratyaksha, anumana, shabdha, and then upamana. These are the four. Along with the four, added to that is arthapatti by the Prabhakara philosophy. Why it is all important, I'll tell you a little later, because these are all going to be taken up. How this cannot prove, or how with this we can not understand without the Shabda Pramana. All others cannot prove the world as appearance. Appearance as a reality. Presently, Advaita holds the view the world is nothing but an appearance. Mithya bhava cannot be understood by praksha, anumana, upamana, and then arthapatti. Now, last one is there among these. It's called abhava drishti. So it says abhava drishtanyetani. Bhata Vedanti Nastata Sambhave Dihya Yuktani Tani Pauranika Jaguhu. Now, the Bhatta is again a Purva Mimamsa school, Uttara Mimamsa being the Vedanta. They are Purva Mimamsa. It's two schools are there. One is called Prabhava, and another is Bhatta. This Bhatta school of philosophy, along with the Vedantins, they accepted the another pramana known as Anupalabdhi pramana. Anupalabdhi pramana, or called Abhava Drishtanta. Abhava Drishtanta. Abhava, it's called Abhava Shashtani. Abhava is the 661. Abhava, not Drishtanta. Abhava is called Shashta, that is sixth one. So, Pratyaksha, Anumana, Shabda, Arthapatti, then Upamana, then sixth one is the what is known as Abhava or Anupalabdhi. Unupalabdhi. Upalabdhi means available, seen, perceivable, known. Unupalabdhi. Unupalabdhi means absence, knowledge in absence. How is that? How can be knowledge in absentia? So when you are going to a party and your husband is sick or something, he could not come. I'm telling you, invariably everybody will ask, where is he? What does it mean? Absence also is knowledge. I didn't see you yesterday. So my knowledge is about understanding that you are not there. So absence is also knowledge. I am aware of your absence. It's very interesting, right? Non-perception. So non-existence of a thing is also an awareness, an understanding, a knowledge. So abhava shashtani etani, sixth one as abhava, bhata vedantinas tada. Even Vedantins take up this, because when we say that the Jagat is also temporary, and that is also proved of its absence in sleep. It is not present in sleep, and therefore, with that, what we conclude, Jagrad avastha api swapnavat na satyam nitya eva. Because of the fact that it was absent in the state of sleep. So that knowledge of Jagrad being mithya is recognized because of its absence in sleep. So absence is also knowledge. So abhava shashtani etani bhatta vedantinas tada. These are all accepted by as the six schools of or six means of knowledge. Pratyaksha, Anumana, Shabda, Upamana, Arthapatti, Anubalabdhi. 6. But furthermore, there are traditionalists who bring in Pauranikas. They accept Sambhava Aidihya Yuktani Tani Pauranikaha Jaguhu. Jaguhu, they say, who Pauranikaha? Purana Jnana Vadinaha. People who have the knowledge as stated in the Puranas. About what? Sambhava. Sambhava means possibility. Sambhava. Aidihya. Aidihya means according to tradition. Because this has been told to me by my great-grandfather, through my father or grandfather, and therefore it comes to me. Therefore it is true. See, it is not Shabda Praman. It is not any of those six. but I was told to do so. I was instructed to do so. Kyun karte ho? Because this is what I was told. So this is called aidihyam or possibility. Based upon whatever is perceived now, there is a possibility of something happening, which is not proven at all. So Puranas talk about the possibility of the next generation or other yugas, what will it be. There are Kali Puranas also there. They were all talking about what will be the future without any reference, any strong points about why you are predicting this. So there are people who take up to this two other pramanas also. All right. So this way, there are 6 plus 2, 8. Such pramanas are all brought in. Now, he will take up one by one. Vaisheshikas. Let us talk about Vaisheshikas. Why they say the world is made of anus, paramanus, and how it is not true. Well, first of all, we have to understand what is a Vaisheshikas philosophy and how that is not correct. So we'll see that in the next class. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkhabhat Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.